Go and throttle up.
Hello. What's going on, everybody? All right. We got Falcon Heavy.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Falcon Heavy happening very soon. So, let's see. Let's take a look here. Hello, everybody. How's it going? How's it going? We got this nice Sunday stream. Edman, 87 months in honor of the W-87 warhead. Okay. He clipped on the LGM 118 Peacekeeper. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I heard the weather down in Florida is... Well, the weather outside
Discovery,
is
go and throttle
weather.
up.
Yeah. Justin, hey, 27 months. Can't wait. Yep. Okay, so a little bit of details about the mission. This info is coming off of next space flight. So we got the SF-67 mission, which is a mission for the Space Force. Did you see this? The volumetric clouds, Hilmus. I've seen them. Yep. Okay, so.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
The it's launch day. Yeah, hopefully. Falcon Heavy, after a 24-hour scrub, is set to go off in about 30 minutes. Yeah, it's closer to 45. But, so we have a 5:56 p.m. launch time. So it's 12 past the hour. At 56 past the hour, whatever local time you might be, yeah, 56 past the hour. So we're, yeah, about 45 minutes, between 30 and 45 minutes out. So, the SF-67 mission is launching for the Space Force, and we know about at least 2 of the payloads that are going up. One of them is the Continuous Broadcast Augmenting SATCOM-2, or CBAS. CBAS-2. It's a military communication satellite for the Space Force, which was reported to utilize space-based satellite relay links for augmenting existing communication links coverage for the SSF. That says 1,000 things and says 0 things at the exact same time. Nice. All right. Another one is LDPE-3A. At least these are the payloads that we know about. LDPE-3A is the long-duration propulsive ESPA-3A, which houses 5 technological demonstration payloads for the Space Force's Systems Command and Rapid Capabilities Office. Long-duration propulsion. Pretty neat. This Falcon Heavy is set to go out at 39A at Kennedy Space Center, and it is the 10th orbital launch of 2023. SpaceX's 207th mission, and the 3rd mission for SpaceX of 2023. This is the 5th Falcon Heavy mission total, and the 1st Falcon Heavy of 2023. The core is flying on the first stage tonight. 1070 on the center core, which is its first flight, also being expended for extra Delta V for the payloads. And on left and right, we have 1064 and 1065, which is their second flight. They were both turned around from the last Falcon Heavy mission 75 days ago. Those 2 will be doing a twin landing, from what I understand. It is an RTLS mission. Center core will be expended. Cosmic jellyfish is very possible. Yep. It's good stuff. Perfect timing. It just finished an episode of the BBC version of Hitchhikers. Right on. Yeah. The weather seems really good in Florida. TX has a 63 and NX with a 15-month resubs. Devo, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for popping in, dude. It's good to see you, pal. That's cool. Man, good luck, dude. Good luck in that game. It's going to be tough, man. My Patriots didn't make it. We suck. Hope you don't join us. Yeah, the weather in Boston is terrible. Orion, how much snow do you have? Because I have about an inch on the ground, and it's heavy pack snow, which is horrible. It's the kind of snow that's like almost mud, but not. Yeah, that's what I have. That's good. Sunset Falcon Heavy. Yep. T-minus 30 minutes for SpaceX's stream. Yep. Easy, buddy. Happy to be here. Right on, man. Right on. Clear skies in South Carolina. Looks like a due east launch based on the space-faring recovery zone. Yep. It's white mud. You ain't wrong. Okay, Moo, look at the clock. Okay, so this is why I say past the hour, all right? So look at the clock. It's 16 past the hour. That first number that's on the other side of the 2 dots, ignore that number, okay? We are inside an hour, okay? So look at the clock. It says 16 past or 17 past right now. At 56 past is when it's launching. Time zones be damned. We don't need that. We only need the 2 numbers on the right. What is mud? Yeah. The minutes are what matter. My clock. I don't. You don't have a clock? But can Boston see it past the turd sculpture? No comment. Some time zones are 30 minutes difference. Yeah, those are the ones that no one cares about, though. Let's be real. Is anybody in those time zones? Gonna cry? Launch a Falcon Heavy, maybe? It's true, we don't care. Nope. Oh, anyway. All right, I've rested my back. I'm good. Good enough at least. Good enough at least. And we should be good, guys. After Falcon Heavy, we're gonna do that arm fixing mission, and then maybe even the truss segment if we have time. I really need to. Did you see the DM I sent to you on Discord earlier? No, Creeper. I have you blocked because I don't like you. Yeah, I saw it. Grain of salt, man. Yeah, grain of salt, dude. Yeah, Fryman, you know, normally I wouldn't call you because I don't like you, but you're on TV, man. I'm on TV, looking pretty good. The chicken skin diet really is working out for me there. You stay far away from this place. You hear me? Far away. Yeah, it's good enough illness, you know. After the GTA stream the other day, I'm kind of happy that left early because, yeah, I had pins and needles in my feet. You know, that's good. That's good. Yes, it is, Jaeger. Happy to be roasted for my thickness. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Creeper, I saw what you said. I don't... I'll talk to you about that off, but take it on the side, but take that with a grain of salt, dude. You miss Meatwad? We all do. We all do. Someone parked their car in front of a train on virtual railfan. Did the train do train things?
Go at throttle up.
Yeah, see, let's see if we can load up a picture here of Falcon, and it hit the car, so it did train things and just... Yep. Yeah, Falcon Heavy, man. I wouldn't miss this. That's why I'm here on the day off, dude. I would not miss this. Here, you know what? We can go to NSF Live. Let's check over on our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight and see what's going on over there.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Nobody got hurt. Well, that's good. How was church? I see what you're doing.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
You think you're clever. Steel trap, man. You think you're clever. That's good. You're not going to get it, man. You're not going to guess. No one will. Because here's the thing. I ain't going to tell you either way. Anyway, moving on. Take a look at Falcon Heavy. Hey, Chris, 57-month resub. Hank, 38-month resub. Your buddy Ian is commenting today. He's not my buddy. Yeah, he is. Ian's actually a pretty good friend of mine. Anyway. Well, no. Chat always knows. Wait, what are we guessing? Nothing. Nothing. Don't worry about it. Hey, Charadra, thank you for the raid. Oh, look at that beautiful rocket. Ooh. Rocket launch! Oh my god, why are you yelling? Stop yelling. Keep it down. Indoor voice. Indoor voice. Indoor voice. Shh. This is a library. Chief, what's going on? Roger, thanks for the raid, man. What were you playing tonight? You Tarkoving it up or Kerbal or what? No, this is Patrick. Screw you, we yell here. Indoor voice. Indoor. You're playing hard mode Kerbal? Right on. Hard mode Kerbal. Oh, crap, I did it again. 2 months from True Zen. From True Zen. Hey, thanks, man. Sorry, I almost said your name wrong. Had mode Kerbal. Dude, I did it again. Dude, it's getting worse. It's getting worse, man. You're allowed to speak in your native language. No. No. I choose to have a neutral accent all of the time. so people don't get distracted. I've heard on some other streams that Starship may have some tests coming up in February. Is that official or is it still just rumors? Well, okay, Klopp, Elon said that Starship is going to... Starship's going to fly sometime... They're aiming for late February, but he himself said late February probably means late March. So, 8 weeks. Just keep an eye out over the next 8 weeks. Accent's wicked piss of that guy. Yeah, it is. It's pretty freaking good. So May. No, Hypersonic, from what I've been able to tell, I don't know if this is Elon becoming aware of Elon time, but from what I've been able to tell, from what I've been able to surmise, I have been out of the space news game for a little bit, but there is, like, Zach, CSI Starbase is very, very, very good analysis. I've been paying attention to him while I haven't been doing space news, and, yeah, I would say March. That's where my chips will fall. My chips fall in March. That's not even how you use that saying, but whatever. There are rumors that there's a 33 engine static fire. I'd say that the 33 engine static fire is probably the big one. If that one goes okay, then yeah, it really, keep in mind, guys, just like any other test campaign, it is dependent, all right? It's dependent on how well you do during the test, right? You're testing a bunch of different components all the way up until sending the thing, right? If you fail any one of those tests, it can take longer, which is why nobody ever knows what time something's going to get done in the aerospace industry. It really depends, and that just takes time. It takes time and analysis. It's tough. Will you get KSP2, Trey Brew? I thought you'd have a little more faith in me than that. Oh, come on, Mr. McKittrick. Thought a man of your intelligence would have a better response than that. I don't have to take that from you, you pig-eyed piece of poop. So February 31st. Precisely. Yep. I hope it's in March on the 11th, okay? The current conspiracy theory is that EJ already has it, but don't tell him that. I don't recall these events happening ever. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so we are about a half hour out until Falcon Heavy here. Skills, RJ. Skills. That kills. Wasn't it the 24th? What is the 24th? Kerbal is the 24th. Yeah. So I heard your Canadarm fought you in space. You heard? RB, you could just say you watched the VOD. Like, and if you didn't, somebody that you hang out with watches the VOD. You could just say that. You know, well, I heard. Yeah. I made the arm divide by 0. It's a rare glitch that happens with robotics, but it is documented behavior, and it's consistently replicatable behavior. So, long story short, I know why it happened. I can prove why it happened. I made it happen again in a debug save, and we just need to replace the arm. No further action required. I heard bird is indeed the word. No, nerd is the word, Taradra. This is a science stream. Back off, man. I'm a scientist. See? Nerd is the word. I wear the nerd. The nerd is the word. I wear the nerd. No, bird is in fact not the word. Nerd is the word. Or your bird is a nerd. You're welcome. Anyway, this is coming from our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight. This is a shot from them. A Falcon Heavy on the pad. You can see that the boosters have started to fuel up. Damn is the word. Damn. W, I swear, if this is... trust me, I'm an engineer. Yes, of course, yes. The word of the day is simultaneous supersonic retropropulsion. Yes. I still want a 500-page write-up about the anomaly on the deck. I can give you a 5,000 word VOD from the other day, serious, of when I diagnosed it and figured it out. I'd say either the booster or the OLM has a high chance of moderate failure. A high chance of moderate failure? What are you, a weatherman, erudite? What are you, the weatherman? What are you, the weatherman? Yeah, for crying out loud, another stiff brick. Secret codes in your passwords. One of these days, you guys just gonna learn to drop it. Ooh. An Olympus 593 for sale on eBay. Very nice. What do you think I said? I thought you sent me Surfing Bird, to be honest with you. Do people even know what band that's by? 600 G's. Yeah, serious. 600 grand. So you could have that jet engine, or you could have a broom closet where you live.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
That's right, Edmana. See, I don't remember that song from Family Guy. I remember that song from Full Metal Jacket. I don't know what that is, Forge. It's by Peter Griffin, of course. No, Edmana, Sirius is right outside of London. So probably one of the few spots on Earth that's actually more expensive than the Bay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, one of the few spots that sucks worse than where you live. Not as bad as me. No. I'm all right. Not as bad as you. That guy. It's cheap. It's cheap compared to freaking we're cheap compared to that. No, he's in the middle of Sergeant. Somebody called for you from London. London. It is by the Trashman, yeah. Not being able to fly, but perfect to dismantle and repurpose into collectible pieces of furniture and art. I have been thinking about getting an Inconel wedding ring. I know the drawbacks of that, but also. Anyway, so we're waiting here for Falcon Heavy. We are inside of 30 minutes here on the SF-67 Space Force mission. There is the strongback chill down right there. So inside of this truss structure right here that's holding the rocket up, because that's literally what it is. It's holding the rocket up. It's called a strongback because it's holding the rocket up. Engineers are not good at naming things. Engineers are not good at dealing with customers. So the strongback here, on top of holding the rocket up with those clamper arms right there, and basically a saddle right here, and there's a saddle also for the fairing up there. That's what those yellow things are. It has the fuel lines for the second stage, and a chill down on the TE vent right here, strongback transporter erector, or just TE strongback, and SpaceX calls it transporter erector. So a vent down on the TE right here means that they've started filling the lines up here with fuel and oxidizer to start filling up the second stage. It might just be for liquid oxygen here. They might already have RP1 in there. But basically what Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy is designed to do, because SpaceX is trying to squeeze the most amount of performance out of their propellants, they literally wait until the last minute to top off these tanks. The reason why is because if you notice that condensation right there, they're using liquid oxygen. The Falcon series of rockets, Falcon 1, Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, they are a semi-cryogenic rocket using liquid oxygen and RP1, which is, it's jet fuel for the most part. It's actually kind of closer to kerosene, with jet fuel. They're all brothers in the family of hydrocarbons. Anyway, so they have Kerolox. Kerolox is kind of the name for it, for kerosene and liquid oxygen. So what they try to do is the kerosene is just jet fuel. That doesn't really matter. In fact, like other companies actually, they do a test with the rocket and they leave it fully fueled. But you can leave it fully fueled with fuel because it's just jet fuel, right? Something kind of synonymous with diesel, I suppose. But the liquid oxygen, the cryogenic propellant, is a little bit different. With cryogenic propellants, you basically have to deal with what's called boil off. So they're using liquid oxygen for their oxidizer. Liquid oxygen, if you think oxygen, you definitely don't think of a liquid. You breathe in a little bit of oxygen when you think that's air you're breathing now, right? You're breathing in a little bit of oxygen, but in order for oxygen to exist as a liquid, it has to be really cold. It has to be really cold, and it has to be at a relatively high pressure. And that basically gives it a shelf life. It makes it boil. It boils and evaporates very, very easily because down here on the surface, oxygen does not want to be a liquid. It wants to be a gas. So what they try to do, what SpaceX tries to do is time the filling. So second stage and, well, in this case, the 2 boosters and the center core all top off on liquid oxygen, like probably, I think it's, if I'm remembering the timing right, it's within a couple minutes of launch. So, you know, I know what people are saying, like, oh, why are they going to fuel it now? We're really close to launch. It's 20 minutes out. Yeah, they try to fast fill and try to get the maximum amount of performance so the propellant doesn't boil off. SpaceX is also using a really super chilled version of liquid oxygen. I say super chilled version. It's just liquid oxygen that's really, really freaking cold to get the most performance out of the rocket that they can, because the more liquid oxygen in this case that you can get inside of these rocket motors, you can deliver more fuel. And if you can deliver more oxygen, you deliver more fuel, you can make more power. You get more performance out of the booster. You get better what's called total impulse. So, yep, there's a vent down right there. Transporter erector vent, indicating that liquid oxygen is going up the TE lines and into the second stage. So we should start seeing the second stage start to fog up like the side boosters right there. It looks like they're just getting into sunset here down in Florida. It is pitch black where I am. I am about 1,100 miles northeast of these guys. Of these guys down in Florida, of where the rocket is. It's about 1,700 kilometers for everybody else. It is already dark here. Way dark. Yeah, it's been dark for a while. Sun goes down at 4 in the afternoon. It's depressing. It sucks. Yeah, there you go. It's heavier. What was the last Falcon Heavy launch? The last Falcon Heavy launch. Please hold. Okay, yes, the last one was SF-44 for the Space Force. And before that, it was SDP-2, Arabsat-6A, and then the first one back in February of 2018, which doesn't seem like that long ago, but that was 5 years ago, was the Tesla going into a heliocentric orbit. Yeah, Donald, something like that. So once again, this footage is being piped. This is the NSF stream. NSF has, you know, as always, been cool enough to actually let us restream their footage over here, unabated, which is really, really cool of them. They are, in fact, a bunch of gentlemen and scholars. Indeed, I tip my cap. Thank you, NSF. They are showing their store. I recently got a bunch of merch from their store. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I got my SLS coffee mug. So it's like the 4th to 5th now. This is the 5th launch of Falcon Heavy. Are we more scared for these launches? Well, the Space Force seems to have a high degree of confidence in it, so I wouldn't read into that too much. All right, so we're going to switch off NSF because I believe the actual SpaceX stream is up and running. And the first thing, yes, I did, Jonathan. Mm-hmm. The first thing that we're going to do is fast forward. So, chat, prepare to fast forward. Preparing to fast forward. Fast forwarding, sir. Fast forwarding. What am I looking at? When does this happen in the launch? Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that's happening now is happening now. What happened to then? You missed it. When? Just now. You're at now. When will then be now? Soon. Okay, we're caught up. At 56 past the hour, the rocket will launch. Oh! Anyway, what's the cargo? We have a bunch of Space Force cargo here, Gojira. Anything from long-duration propulsion mechanisms to a relay for a relay. You think I'm kidding? One of the payloads that we know about on board is CBAS-2. Yes, it's literally called that. Continuous Broadcast Augmenting Satcom. It's a military communication satellite for the Space Force, which was reported to utilize space-based satellite relay links for augmenting existing communication links for the Space Force. So it's a relay for a relay. CBAS. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't do it. You did it. Okay. That must be similar to retroencabulation. If it was a Russian satellite, it would be Hardbess. Yes, Hardbess. Whose relay is it relaying? Oh, well, that's very simple. It's actually supposedly supposed to relay the Space Force. Yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. Oh, the mic cut out? I don't know what you're talking about. Didn't cut out for me. Weird. All right, so we're just waiting on SpaceX coverage here. How does the X-37 work? Oh, with magnets. Yeah, I don't mind. Well, Devlin, I didn't say nothing. The audio cut out. Maybe the all-black helicopter is coming for you, and I sent it. I am wearing all black. You just blew my freaking mind, man. Oh no! Yeah, I went into a tunnel. Yep. Mm-hmm. Any more GPU issues? Negative.
Nice launch checkpoint countdown.
Here we go.
Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence
7,
has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
It's rocket time. And your boy is happy. Because it's rocket time.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Oops.
Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
Hello, everyone. You
Jesse.
are looking at a live view of Falcon Heavy on historic Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center, awaiting liftoff at 5:56 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to our live webcast of the USSF-67 mission from SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. My name is Jesse Anderson. I'm a production engineering manager here at SpaceX, and I am so excited to be here with you today, bringing you coverage of our first Falcon Heavy mission this year and fifth of all time. Today's mission
internal power.
is a national security space launch mission for the United States Space Force, our second Falcon Heavy mission for the Space Force in about 2 months. Now, just like USSF-44 last November, USSF-67 will launch into a geosynchronous Earth orbit from Launch Complex 39A in Florida. Now, additionally, at the request of our customer, we will again not be showing views of the payload. So we will be ending the webcast just after Falcon Heavy's side boosters make their way back to land on Landing Zone 1 and Landing Zone 2 around the T+8 minute mark into flight.
I think so, Greg.
Now, in addition to covering today's launch, we're excited to be joining you this weekend as Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Every third Monday of January, we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who fought for racial justice and equality for all. Here at SpaceX, we believe that in order to achieve our goals of making humanity multiplanetary, it is essential to create a team with diverse backgrounds and cultures. As we remember Dr. King's legacy this weekend, I hope that we can keep working towards furthering equality every day of the year. Now back to the mission at hand. At T-minus 13 minutes and counting, all systems are currently go for an on-time liftoff. The vehicle is nearly fully loaded with propellants and will complete at T-minus 2 minutes. The range is also green and ready to support. If for some reason we do not launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow at the same time. Now at just under T-minus 13 minutes, let's take a closer look at the Falcon Heavy vehicle that you see there on your screen. Falcon Heavy is essentially 3 Falcon 9 rockets strapped together, which means it can carry much larger payloads, not only to Earth orbit, but to the Moon and Mars as well. Now, like Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy is a 2-stage launch vehicle. Now, the big difference is that the Falcon Heavy first stage is comprised of 3 cores, whereas Falcon 9 only has 1. Falcon Heavy has 28 engines in total. Each of these cores has 9 M1D engines, making for a total of 27 engines across all 3 boosters, which you can see there on your screen. The 28th engine is a Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage and will power the payload to its final targeted orbit.
That's what they call
now,
the business end.
The Merlin 1D engines at the base of Falcon Heavy produce 5 million pounds of thrust. That's equal to 18 747s at takeoff. Now, in fact, the engines produce so much power that we don't run them at full thrust all at once until after liftoff. About 2.5 minutes into flight, the 2 side boosters will separate from the center core and come back down to Earth for simultaneous landings at Landing Zone 1 and Landing Zone 2, which you can see there on your screen. If successfully recovered, these side boosters will be refurbished and used in a future national security space launch.
See the gradient?
Now, upon side booster separation, the center core will keep firing for about 90 seconds before shutting down its engines and then perform a standard stage separation from the second stage. We will not be attempting to land our center core today as the mission requires more performance. Now, this means that in order to get our payload to where it needs to go for today's mission, the center core will burn the fuel that we would typically use for recovery. And for those of you looking closely, that is why you don't see any landing legs or grid fins on the center core. Now moving towards the top of the vehicle, once the first and second stage separate, the second stage will propel our payload to its intended orbit. At our customer's request, we will not be showing views of stage 2, so immediately after the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage fires up, we'll be directing all of our attention to the landing of our side boosters. Now above the second stage is where our payload is safely enclosed inside of the fairing. That's at the very top of the rocket there on your screen. The fairing protects the payload from aerothermal loads, heating, and contamination during ascent. Now, once we reach the vacuum of space, we will jettison the fairing as the second stage continues on its journey to orbit. I can talk about that in a second, Jim. And we will be attempting to recover the fairing halves today with our recovery vessel, Bob. Now, as I mentioned earlier, today's launch, USSF-67, is a national security space launch mission for the United States Space Force. Now, let's learn a bit more from our customer about today's mission.
All right. So, a lot of people are asking about the center core here. So, SSC,
we depend on space every day.
I'll talk about it after this.
Support our way of life, our supply chain, financial systems, weather tracking, and power grids, as well as air, land, and maritime infrastructure.
Now let's learn a bit more from our customer about today's mission.
Fast forward.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Switching it to 4K. Put it behind a little bit. Hey, Diamond, 7213 sub. Airplane, boat, artillery piece, Navy,
Discovery,
plane,
go and throttle.
Falcon, guy on a computer, another guy on a computer, girl on a computer, another girl on a computer, palm trees, lines, Falcon, Falcon. What? Do you really? I'm just saying what I see, all right? I love lamp.
Through unity of effort across the space acquisition enterprise, Space Systems Command delivers to warfighters integrated and resilient space capabilities through 5 program executive offices. assured access to space, procures launch services, and delivers on-orbit capabilities faster and more frequently than ever before, while sustaining ranges for the United States Space Force and commercial partners.
No comment, Rogue.
Battle Management Command, Control, and Communication. Delivers tactical and operational command and control capabilities to warfighters, facilitating timely and quality battle space decisions for the joint all-domain fight. Space domain awareness and combat power. Maximizes the full characterization of space using a wide range of multi-domain assets by rapidly detecting potential and real threats to our nation and allies, which enables decisive action in the space domain. Communications and positioning, navigation, and timing. Ensures the delivery of resilient capabilities across the acquisition lifecycle, from prototypes to systems on the production line to systems our warfighters have been operating for years.
Was that an A7?
Space sensing. Delivers space-based battle space awareness through missile warning, tracking,
Hey, what's that?
environmental monitoring, and tactical intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Our adversaries fully intend to disrupt, degrade, and destroy the U.S. and our allies' ability to access and operate in space. Not on our watch. Space Systems Command is focused on creating and sustaining resilient lethality in space through systems integration, unity of effort, and digital engineering ecosystems.
They were a lot more
At
straightforward
Space
with
Systems
that
Command,
time.
space starts here.
They were a little more candid that time than past
At
Space Force
T-minus
advertisements
6
we've
minutes and
seen.
45 seconds, the SpaceX team continues to count down for launch of our 4th operational Falcon Heavy flight, and all systems are go. Following a successful static fire this past Tuesday, Falcon Heavy rolled out to the pad with the payload at 5:45 a.m. and went
Hello.
vertical about 4.5 hours later. Now, before we began the webcast, the SpaceX launch director...
Booster RP1 load is complete.
The SpaceX launch director polled the members of the launch team and got a go for propellant loading and launch. Now, we're currently loading propellant on all 3 first stage boosters as well as the second stage. Now, you may be able to hear the live rocket sounds from our launch pad. The pops and hissing sounds that you hear are from propellant loading, as well as the launch mount and strong back that the propellant is going through. Falcon Heavy uses 2 propellants, a refined form of kerosene called RP1, or Rocket Propellant 1, as a fuel, and LOX, or liquid oxygen, as an oxidizer. Now, an oxidizer is a type of chemical that a fuel requires in order to burn. The liquid oxygen is chilled below its boiling point so that it has a much greater amount of mass per volume. So basically, we can load more of it into the vehicle.
That's physics.
Our fuel
It's
is
inevitable.
RP1, essentially a purified kerosene. It is safe, easily available, and has a lot of history. And in fact, the Saturn V first stage flown from this very pad on the moon missions also used liquid oxygen and kerosene. And in addition to these 2
Very
propellants, we also use the chemical TTEB, or triethyl aluminum and triethyl borane, as an ignition source. The combustion of RP1 and liquid oxygen is what makes the rocket go, and it's the TTEB that sets the match to the propellant mix. Now, next up, the trusted structure next to the vehicle.
Tanks are pressing for a strong back retract.
Guys, what I'm going to do, as we're inside of 5 minutes, I'm going to run an ad to disable pre-rolls so you guys don't get ads during the launch. I don't like running ads, but this would be the way to do it so we get uninterrupted launch coverage. Okie dokie? I'm going to hit it now, so I'll see you back here in 30.
Once they're fully open, then the TE, or the transporter erector, can begin to retract away from the vehicle. And we did hear that call out that
And
the
if you didn't
TE
see the ad,
retraction
hi.
process
How are
has
you?
begun.
How's your day going?
Now, as I mentioned earlier, today's launch marks our 2nd Falcon Heavy flight in just 11 weeks. And for those of you following along,
got you,
a
Vulcan.
lot
I tried,
will
dude. I
happen
hate
in the
dude, I
first
can't
4
stand
minutes
it.
of flight.
Discovery,
Dude,
go and
I
drop
hate
off.
ads. I hate that I have to do that. I hate it. I can't stand it. It really pisses me off, like, to be honest with you. But also, what would piss me off even more is getting an ad in the middle of a launch. So we're going to see this thing uninterrupted all the way all the way up and all the way down with no ads. Okie dokie?
Complete.
Followed by the center core. Then about 40 seconds after liftoff, we will decrease power on the 2 side boosters to prepare for max Q, after which Falcon Heavy will throttle back up to full power on the side
Thanks for all the
boosters.
subs, dudes. I appreciate
Now
it.
2 minutes into flight, we will...
booster lock float is complete.
Okay.
2 minutes into flight, we will again reduce thrust on the 2 side boosters, this time to decrease forces on the rocket structure,
back is moving.
as the vehicle is now much lighter, but thrust is constant.
It's moving into
2.5 minutes
retracted
into
state here.
flight, we will fully turn off the side boosters with booster engine
Yeah,
cutoff,
I
or
know.
what we call BECO. The pneumatic separation
Center core
system.
lock float complete.
Okay.
Getting good call-outs. I'm going to pause for each one of those. The pneumatic separation system on the center core then unlocks the 2 side boosters and pushes
Yep.
them away.
Bias is
Now,
moving a
once
little
we
bit. That
clear,
happens.
once we are clear of the side boosters, the center core throttles up to full power until the center core shuts down with main engine cutoff, or what we call MECO, and then separates from the second
Cats,
stage around
no
the
problem.
4-minute
I
mark.
got you.
And as a reminder, we will not be attempting to recover the center core today.
Yeah, that the yellow strap up there is for holding the fairing when they're picking the rocket up. It's the fairing saddle. Yeah, and then you have the holder arms right there, and then there's another smaller saddle on the inner stage. And then other than that, each center core here, or each center core, the center core and the 2 side cores have the outside cores have 3 separation or 3 attachment points, and then the center core has 2. The holders that hold the stages at the bottom there, I can't talk over Jesse there. There's basically a big freaking strut down here that holds the side boosters to the center core, similar to that one there. That is sitting on what's called a compression bridge, and the compression bridge is designed to hold the whole rocket up when it's fully fueled. They're basically a bridge that holds up the strut. It's a compression bridge because the stage is under, or the whole rocket's under compression load when it's fully fueled, at least on the hold down points. So the outside boosters have 3, one at 12, one at 9, and one at, this would be 3 for you guys, and one at 6. The center core has one at 12 and 6, and then the other side booster has a hold down point at 12, at 9, and at 6. So the outside ones have 3, and the center one has 2, and then the compression bridges hold the whole thing up.
Minute mark. That's where the internal flight computers
Boom.
take over the launch
21 months.
countdown.
Pretty successful stroker, yeah. They can recover the fairings. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna try to cram this into a minute here, guys. It's not that they haven't been able to, or they've started expending Falcon Heavy center cores. It's that these missions require them to expend Falcon Heavy center cores. And in terms of why they're using this one for the first time, it's because they don't have any other center cores because they've never successfully recovered one. Just bad luck. The first 3 missions came close. The center core, on some of the missions, the center core landed and then it fell off the drone ship, and then other ones it just blatantly missed. So Falcon Heavy has been doing a lot of expendable center core flights with SF-44 and SF-67 the last 2 missions, but that doesn't mean that SpaceX gave up on it either. There are provisions for grid fins there on that center core. They just didn't put them in. You can see the hole right there. So I'm going to shut up, and we go. Sound suppressors should turn on here.
T-minus 10.
See water come out of here.
9, 8, 7.
All right.
6.
Let's fly.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine
flash.
full power. And lift
There she
off.
goes.
USSF-67. Go Falcon Heavy. Go Space Force.
5th Falcon Heavy launch. Ignition and separation look pretty good there. Oh yeah, very nice.
Booster chamber pressures are nominal.
Propulsion engineer reporting that the side cores and the center cores are all performing as expected. They still have the sound from the launch pad cut in.
T plus
That's what that
40
hissing
seconds
noise
into
is.
flight under the power of 5 million pounds of thrust.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon Heavy is headed to space. Now we did throttle down the engines around the T plus 40-second mark in preparation for max Q.
That's nice.
And great call out there that we have passed through max Q.
That was a
That's
really nice
the
tracking
largest
camera.
mechanical stress on the vehicle on ascent. And incredible, incredible views there on your screen. Falcon Heavy in flight.
if you look, the
next
flames on the
events
outside,
coming up will be booster engine cutoff.
the flames on the outside of the boosters look a little bit bigger than the one in the center because the center core is throttled down. Because if they fired all these at full power and kept them at full power for the entire time, they'd all run out of fuel at the same time. But you don't want to do that. You want the center core to keep going after booster separation. So you can actually tell if you look at it from a certain angle that the center core engines are actually at a lower throttle than the outside boosters.
That will be BECO. That's where the
Look at that
booster,
shot.
the side boosters engines will shut down.
Oof.
The center core will
That's
push
nice.
those side boosters away from the vehicle. Then those two side boosters can begin to make their way back down to Earth with their boost back burns. And on your right-hand screen, you could see the
That's right.
views from each of those side boosters.
Okay, we should be coming up on booster separation here.
Really incredible views here. Again, we will have BECO, side booster, boost back burn, followed by
Okay,
main
here we
engine
go.
cutoff of the center core here in just a few seconds.
Okay, that's BECO right there. Separation. Oh, very nice.
Side booster separation.
That one's a little out of whack.
Side core booster startup.
The ACS compensated.
Incredible views. We
Double
just had
RTLS.
BECO
Oh,
separation of the side
that's
boosters, and you can see on
fantastic.
your left-hand screen that the side boosters have lit back up. They are now in their boost back burn, making their way back down to Earth.
Well, that's something you don't see every
Those
day.
side boosters are returning to Florida under the power of 3 engines. That's 3 of the 9 M1D engines. So next up will be the conclusion. Next up will be the conclusion of those side booster boost back burns, followed by MECO on the center core, as well as stage separation of the center core and the second stage, and then SES1 or second stage engine start 1.
I'm not switching coverage.
As I
in the
mentioned
middle of this,
previously,
guys.
per the
Keep
request
me off your
of our
gourd if I
customer,
think
we
I'm
won't be
gonna- think I'm gonna
showing
do that.
second stage views after SES1. And additionally, our center core or stage 1 is expendable today, so we will not be
Center core
attempting to
shut down in
recover
10 seconds.
that vehicle, but we should have some great views like we are seeing right
Side
now.
core boost back shut down.
We should have some great views of those
Okay.
side boosters
Engine cut
touching
off
down
on
for
both
landing.
boosters. Now the RCS is going to
Go.
flip those things around.
Stage separation confirmed.
Got a good separation. Stand by for upper stage ignition. Green flash.
MVAC startup.
Good ignition on the second stage.
And excellent views. We had the
Stage 1 FTSSA has safed.
We did have the shutdown of the
Position
boost
signal.
back burn.
I got AOS through Bermuda.
We did have the shutdown of the boost back burns on the side boosters as well as MECO on
Yeah,
that
that
center
was
core and stage separation.
Combat, you saw that too. It looks like they showed a shot that stopped updating of an onboard of
We are
Falcon
waiting
Heavy
for
on the
confirmation
pad.
of a call out
He
of the
reverted to
bearing
pad, guys.
separation.
It's okay. Okay, so the cameras these are the cameras that are on the two side cores here.
All vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
Because they flew through the trajectory of the center core when it was going by, the cameras are a little caked in some soot right here. But as we get back down, it'll get brushed off here. Yeah, they need a windshield wiper. You can see the grid fin right there. That's one of them, and there's another one right there. They're getting a little bit hot. We should be coming up here in a moment to double supersonic retropropulsion. This is where both the side cores that are coming back here, they're trying to land. They're going to encounter some re-entry heating here. They are going pretty fast. You can see how fast they're going over there. They will
So currently stage
encounter
2 is
some re-entry heating. And what Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy's plan is, if you haven't seen this before, it's my favorite part. What their plan is, or SpaceX's plan that has been a thing for a long time, is to basically, when the reentry heating starts to accumulate, plasma starts to accumulate from compressing the air so much hitting the vehicle that it ionizes. When it ionizes, it creates plasma. The plasma starts to accumulate down at the bottom. When that does happen, what SpaceX does is literally blow it away by firing the engines. It's called supersonic retropropulsion. It's, if I ever start a speed metal band, that will be the name.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
The supersonic retropropulsion basically keeps Falcon 9 in a nice cooler column of gas. The rocket exhaust is a good enough of a thermal medium to to shield the booster from the plasma,
Discovery,
which is really freaking cool. It's doing exactly what a heat shield would do, but with a rocket engine. Because all heat shields do is they just outgas. They burn, and then they outgas and envelop a capsule, for instance, in a cool column of gas, right? Falcon shoots its rocket engines at the reentry heating just like that, and you're looking at a flame heat shield right there. Heat shield literally made out of fire. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. That was the closeout purge right there. What they do is after the engine fires, they always hit it with some inert gas just for a second to get all the liquid oxygen out of the rocket engine so it doesn't rust it. Even holding here for a second, you really got to get it out of there. That's why you saw that puff after the engine stopped.
These M1D engines have about 190,000
Okay,
pounds of thrust.
They're really
that
coming
is
back.
enough
Look at those things. Look at the
to
angle.
slow the vehicle down just in time for landing.
Boosters are
and
transonic.
you could see the coast of Florida in the background.
But boosters are transonic.
See?
Now that landing burn coming up here in just about 20 seconds or so.
See?
Landing burn
They
will
clean the
last
cameras
about
off.
20 seconds long.
All right.
Again, we
should
are
see the landing
scheduled to
burn
land on landing
right about
zone
now.
1 and landing
Booster
zone 2.
landing burn.
Look, you can see the first booster
And
on the
there
second
are
booster's
those landing
camera.
burns have begun on the side boosters, so let's watch as they touch down.
Stage 2 is in thermal guidance.
Sonic boom.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Booster landing leg deployed.
Stage 2 flight termination system is off. There's the second set of sonic booms. We got one landing.
And what an incredible sight to see as we watch the
Both
side
done.
boosters
Landed.
touch
We
down
have two booster
for
confirmation
landing.
under control. We only
That
see one
confirms
now.
successful landing of both Falcon Heavy side boosters
There
on
we
landing
go.
zone 1 and landing zone 2. Now with these two side boosters, this marks the 163rd and 164th overall successful landing of an orbital
That's pretty
class
cool.
rocket. It's also the 25th landing on landing zone 1 and the 6th landing on landing zone 2. And with successful confirmation of our side boosters landing, that will bring today's webcast to
Nominal
a
orbit
close.
insertion.
We got a good call for nominal
Now, we'd
orbital
like
insertion.
to thank the United States Space Force for entrusting us with today's mission. Thank you to the Range and the Federal Aviation Administration for licensing today's launch. And we'd like to thank all of you, our viewers, for tuning in. Now, if you're interested, head over to our website and social media platforms for updates on our next missions and milestones. We hope that you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Jesse. That was cool. We had some really, really good shots. Can we just, I'm just going to go back and take a look at that launch one more time here. Now, once again, it's a Space Force mission, so they don't want to show the second stage at the request of the Space Force, but that doesn't mean that we didn't get a really, really, really nice shot of liftoff. Aqualex, I'm not sure if that asymmetric separation was intended, to be 100% honest with you. These boosters seem to be a lot more staggered in their landings than past Falcon Heavy missions. It looks like there was a weird thing going on with separation, and I do want to see it again here. Yeah, there's going to be some great images. Yeah, oh snap, it was a good time. In that last shot, you could see where the rocket dried the landing pad. You could tell where they made corrections as they touched down. Yeah, the starboard booster was very, like, way behind the port side booster. I've never seen them that staggered before. I saw the first Falcon Heavy flight, one, and I've watched every single one of them since. I've never seen them that far apart from each other. If you don't mind, oh, hang on. That is very nice, very nice, very nice. It looks like one of the boosters separated in a slight different way. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to fast forward all that to that part here. We always kind of review these launches after, just to see if we can see anything that, you know, they might not say or whatever. But it looks like so the booster that's on the right-hand side looks like it may have separated in a slightly different manner. See, it turned. That might just have been it might be an optical illusion. Let me see it one more time. Yeah, that's just the camera angle, fellas. That's a good separation. But that doesn't change the fact that they were a little bit staggered. Either way, fantastic separation. This is very much a balancing act. And to have all this stuff happen in rapid succession like this is not an easy thing to do. But boy, do they make it look pretty simple. Yeah, I think that I'm going to chalk that one up just to lighting. Everything else looked great. But yeah, these boosters were a little bit staggered, but clearly it doesn't... Clearly that's just a little bit towards the end of a nominal window right there. I mean, both of them landed, and they had nominal orbital insertion, so it was fine. It does look slightly asymmetric on the separation. The starboard side booster went up a little bit, and then the other one went out, you know? Yeah, they look the same. They look the same. Intentional stagger in the timing between 3 and 10 seconds on the computer state timing. Cool.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Great shot, goalie. Some are blurry. I just hit the button as fast as I could. Let me see a dish. Oh, you got some shots of it. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, very good jellyfish action there. It could be, Dread. Yeah, there's reasons to separate them like that. But if you look at when they go into land, guys, the sonic booms are very, very far apart. The furthest apart I've ever seen. So that may be an intentional flight optimization by SpaceX. But, yeah, either way, really cool.
Now that landing burn coming up here.
Falcon
in just
Heavy is
about
always
20
a
seconds
treat.
or so.
It's always a treat to watch this thing fly.
Landing burn will last about 20 seconds long. Again, we are scheduled to land on landing zone 1 and landing
Booster
zone 2.
landing burn.
Look at how far. You can see the other booster
those
land
landing
over there.
burns have begun on the side boosters, so let's watch as they touch down.
Stage 2 is
Look, you
internal
can
guidance.
you can see the other
Stage two,
booster
yeah,
landing in this.
Booster landing
Dude.
deploy.
That's fantastic. Oh my goodness, I wish they didn't cut the camera to this. Ah,
And what an incredible sight to see as we watch the side boosters touch down for landing. That confirms
Osap, you see
successful
that?
landing of both Falcon Heavy
pretty
side
good, man.
boosters on landing
That's pretty
zone
good.
1 and landing zone 2. Now with these two side boosters, this marks the 163rd and 164th overall successful landing of an orbital class rocket.
Pi, I see
It's
what
also
you're
the
talking
25th
about.
landing on landing zone 1 and the 6th landing on
I see
landing
what you
zone
mean.
2.
Discovery,
And
go
with
at throttle up.
successful confirmation of our side boosters.
well, that's pretty good, man. 2 on the pads, ready to go. We be fast and they be slow. Sorry, Ghostbusters. Back off, man. I'm a scientist. Okay. I'm not, but anyway. Sorry, I'm just a little hyped up. That's really cool. It's really, really cool. Really cool. I mean, let's go back. I just want to hold on. I'm not gonna do it again. You can see the other booster landing from this one. Like watch right here. Or no, over here. This one. That's crazy. You can see the other booster landing. Oh, that's wild, man. Yeah, look at how far the boosters are apart from each other. That could have been on purpose, but either way, it's really a treat. It's a treat to see this, guys. I will just say this: if you're not familiar with rocket science, if you're not familiar with this, that right there is not easy to do. That is extremely difficult, and they make it look easy. They make it look like it's no big deal. That is some really difficult maneuvering to do, especially with a rocket engine. That's rocket surgery. Yep. Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, Dave, you ain't kidding, man. I mean, guys, just for some reference here, those boosters right there, they're about 15 stories tall. So if you live near a city, go find a 15-story building and look at that. That's how tall those things are. They are not small. 15 stories for the side boosters. The whole Falcon Heavy stack and Falcon 9 stack is a 22-story building. These are two 15-story buildings coming back from basically space and coming back down and landing. And I've done it 164 times. Okay. All right. Well, I made my bed today, SpaceX. So there. I did the dishes. Yeah. Yeah, I too am an overachiever. All right. That's pretty damn impressive, dude. It's cool to see this stuff. I don't think so, Marcel. They didn't interfere each other when they landed simultaneously when I saw them land, so who knows? And, you know, maybe sometime in the future, in the next month, month and a half, something like that, hopefully, you know, Jeb willing, Jeb Kerman, in Jeb we trust.
Discovery.
We'll
go on throttle up.
we'll see Starship do some crazy stuff too, hopefully. Hey Mike, thanks for the sub, dude. I appreciate it. Really off center. It's okay. It's a big landing pad. Yeah, a lot of people do, Blue. Guys, I'm not gonna switch views. If I don't have NSF teed up like right off the on both monitors, maybe that's something we should start doing. But if I don't have them teed up, I don't want to switch in the middle of this, you know. I drank coffee without spilling a single drop. Wow, whoa. We got ourselves an overachiever here. Why is one landing pad smaller than the other? This was the first landing pad that they made, 7, and that was the second one. These weren't both made at the same time. I'm pretty sure they made this one big just in case they miss. They missed the center point. So they made this one a little bit smaller. What you guys are looking at here is the former Complex, 13. It's the former LC-13, which was an Atlas. It was an Atlas Agena launch site. It's on Missile Row, so it's some of the furthest east pads at the Cape. If you look, there was a huge ramp right here, and then the pad for the Atlas Agena was right here. There was basically something akin to like an elevated road right here, and the flame trench was right here, and the diverter went that way. But I mean, that's all been demolished. All of that launch infrastructure is long gone. But the second pad, just for some history here, the second pad it was built right where they would tow an Atlas missile or Atlas first stage over here, and they would back it up that ramp and then tilt it upright. So yeah, that's the former LC-13. It's right next to LC-14, which is where John Glenn launched into space, the first American to orbit the Earth. It's actually just north of here. It's over there. Very similar launch pad. Obviously, 14 doesn't have two big landing pads in it, but still cool to know. Oh, Adrian with the raid. Oh, man. Ciao, come stai? What's up, guys? Did you see the Falcon Heavy? Ooh. Yeah. That's pretty nice. Buongiorno. Oh. That's pretty nice, man. Pretty nice. How goes the launch, Alex? It was great. Adrian, thank you very much for the raid. Grazie a tutti. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You saw the launch too? That's cool. Robbie, how you doing? I was over there 40 years ago. The entire place has completely changed. I'm getting old, I guess. Yeah, that's good. We want it to change. If it was the same, Marcel, I'd have a problem, you know? Falcon Heavy brings an Italian a big Italian load to me. Oh, yeah? Okay. Nice accent. Grazie. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You see Adrian. I never see Adrian pop his head in here, but if you do, tell him I said thank you. I appreciate the raid. Thank you very much. If it was the same shuttle, it would still be flying. Solar, don't do that. Don't do that to me. Do you think Falcon 9 will ever catch up and take the title of the most launched vehicle from Soyuz? I think Starship will eclipse it before it happens, Kiranov, to be honest with you. Can you pull up NSF for the replay? Sure. We'll go check NSF here. Holy cow, Zockley watched the Falcon Heavy launch. Yeah. Zockley's a space nut. Oh yeah, he loves space. He's a good dude. I like that guy. Zockley's cool. I wish I had more time to watch his stream, but either way. So we're just winding down here. I'm going to flip over to Kerbal in a second, so we'll go launch our space shuttle over there in KSP. But you guys said watch NSF, so we're watching NSF. Let's see. So this is my buddies over at NASA Spaceflight. This is a replay of their launch here, or their footage of the launch, not their launch. Question, does pineapple belong on pizza? The answer will determine if I follow or not. So, Flavia, as an American, yes. But as an Italian American, no. No. That's breaking spaghetti. That's... No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. No. No, no. No, no. And if you break spaghetti, that's not spaghetti. That's noodles. All right? Differences. Very big differences. Mm-mm. Americans, though, they do that. It is what it is. Yeah, an American pizza is different than Italian pizza. Very true. Very true. Yep. Hey, Mike, thanks for the subs. That's 5. Pizza with...
Discovery,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So this is the NASA spaceflight replay here. Let's take a look. Oh, okay.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Perfect answer. You followed? Thanks, man.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Fellas, if I had said that was okay to do, my nonna would kill me. She would come back out of the ground and be like,
Discovery,
whack!
go at throttle up.
Get the spoon, you know what I'm saying? I'd get the spoon. Not good. They use some of WD-40 stream? Mm-hmm. Where's your grandma from? Nessuno, my grandmother's from Parma. So, north. Stop you with a wet noodle? No, it would be the spoon, RB. Yeah, exactly, Avenger. That's exactly what would happen. But, you know, yeah, she'd be turning in her grave if she figured that one out. That'd be terrible. Yeah, that's where my family's from. Oh, God. Dish. Yeah, that's where my family is from. Yeah, Flavia. Oh, dude, I wouldn't hear the end of that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, of course it matters. Yeah. Parma is in. What's the state? Emilia Romagna? I'm not saying that right. I'm not saying that right at all. Hey, 12 Bravo, I'm good. Oh, I did get it right. All right, sweet. Okay, cool, sweet. Yeah, that valley is where my family is from. So Modena, Parma, Maranello. That's why I know how to say it right. Dude, that's why I know how to say it right. I'm not kidding. Because that's the other thing. I didn't say it right. I would have gotten the whack. You know? What a shot. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, Wolfie, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And good cheese? Can never go wrong with good cheese. Yeah, Ian, hey, good job commentating, dude. Oh, the golden hour, though. It's perfect, man. Oh, it's so good. You should travel to Italy someday and stream part of it. I'd love to, Squishton. Yeah, Ian, it was, dude. The staggered booster landings, man. You could, I don't know if you saw the SpaceX cast, but you could see the first booster landing from the second booster. Oh, dude, I love this stuff, man. I love it. It's the best. It's the best, dude. I've never seen them that staggered apart before, but wow, it was a treat, man. Oh, what a shot. Jim, they did do it on SF-44. Okay, cool. So it's an intentionally optimized trajectory. Okay, cool. I believe you. I believe you. Your girlfriend would be carrying him. Wait, Shadow, your girlfriend? When did that happen? Why did you tell me these things, man? Can you remind us what liquid or gas is used for RCS? So the attitude control systems on the stages gen are using nitrogen. It's basically just a compressed COP via nitrogen. Yeah, it's nitrogen. When did this happen? Why didn't you tell me these things? Oh, nice, man. Well, hey, best of luck. Oh, this is great. Yeah, Gerst was on console. So, guys, okay, so for the spaceflight historians, guys, I like the space shuttle, the U.S. space shuttle when it flew. Oh, twin supersonic retro propulsion. All right, other one should fire now. Oh, that's nice. The guy sitting in center console at SpaceX Mission Control was a shuttle flight engineer for a long time. And when he left NASA, SpaceX was like, you, come here. We need you. Dude, yeah, look at these boosters they were stretching it to the limit. Look at the angle of attack. That thing is flying, man. Or falling with style, right? Look at that shot. Luca, yeah. See, I'm with you. Oh, can you believe that? Dude.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. When did we start doing this, man? This is great. I know when. I was there for the first one, but damn, is it cool. That's pretty good. ISS astronauts saw the Falcon Heavy launch. Cool. Man, what a shot. Well, what they do when they boost back the boosters, you said when the boosters did the boost back, it looks like they just stopped. That's because they did. So the boosters on the way up still have a lot of kinetic energy even after separation. So they would naturally coast to a much higher apogee. They would just follow their arc if they were expendable, right? What Falcon does is turn the boosters around, but they don't point the boosters back like completely at retrograde, right? What they do is they turn them radial out. They go radial out, slightly retro. So it's like 45 degrees. Like if the second stage is going that way, they don't turn the booster all the way back around and boost back. The boosters are like this. What they do is they raise the apogee enough, right? They raise that apogee enough, high enough in the air that basically the Earth spins underneath it. So when they come back down, their landing site is basically falling straight down. It's wild stuff, dude. I do that in Kerbal. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I learned it from watching these booster landings all the time. That's how we do it with the EMLV, for instance. Right? That's what they do. They don't actually boost back. They boost up. All they do is kind of slow the roll. They kind of stop in midair. That's what it looks like. But they stop and then they go up and then they fall down, which is crazy, dude. It's one of those things that you're not really thinking about. You're like, huh, oh, that's how it does that. I mean, it makes sense. That's cool, Forge. There you go. Boosters launch to landing could be compared to throwing a pencil up to 100 feet and then landing on a bottle cap. Well, it's guided erudite, but yeah. I learned it from you. All right, Valix, see ya. So, here, let me show you. We'll go into paint here. So, like, okay, you have the planet down here, right? So the rocket, when it launches like this, right? And that's to space, right? When the booster separates right here, it doesn't point that way. The booster flips around and it's pointed like this. And then it fires the engines, right? And from there, its trajectory goes up like this. And then it goes back down. And by the time it gets down here, because the Earth is spinning, it's moved over here. And the landing pad is basically right where the boosters come down. It's pretty crazy, right? You wouldn't think, oh, you can do that? The Earth will spin underneath you? Well, yeah, it's always spinning. It's a good trick. Just list lazily to the left. Oh, very nice, Panther. Looks good, buddy. Synchronized acrobatics. It is. It really is. So if you jump high enough, if you could jump 160 kilometers straight up that way, yes, you would not land where you came back down unless you had grid fins. Hey, Thorin, 59-month resub. Thank you. Pog. Hearing that Mission Control Houston was able to see the SpaceX Falcon Heavy from the space station. Cool. That's cool. A jump as a suborbital hop changed my mind. Ian, you watch sports ball, right? And you watch them like, a baseball player hitting the ball, or a football player throwing the ball, or like a soccer player or a football player kicking the ball, right? And they always like, oh, the highest point is the apex. I'm like, apex? No, apogee. Apogee, because suborbital hop. So I'm with you. I, too, am a suborbital hop appreciator. Apex? Apex? No. Apex is for racing cars, okay? No. Apogee. Also, you think the Bills are going to the Super Bowl? I don't know, man. Do you know what's happening with the ISS? Angus, are you talking about Soyuz? Soyuz has a coolant leak, guys. So if you want to know, Soyuz is a Russian spacecraft, and it really consists of 3 modules here. I, of course, found the most potato image I possibly could. Give me 1 second. I'll get you a better... Let's go, Jags. Dude, I did not see that one coming. We'll go over to KSP pretty much now. So Soyuz is a spacecraft that comprised of 3 segments. So the first segment is basically from about here backwards. This one with the solar panels is called the service module. That carries most of the fuel, and it's important to understand that carries the primary coolant. So primary coolant relay. So spacecraft in space need an air conditioner and they need a heater. You have to, because in the vacuum you can't convect heat. So you need to find other ways to shed all the heat, because spacecraft can't sweat. There's no sweating in the vacuum, basically, right? So they have a coolant system, and they use, Soyuz uses ammonia, I think, in its primary coolant loop as well. But so that's the service module. The service module has like life support systems, propulsion systems, etc., etc. Up at the front here, where it says Soyuz in Russian right there, that's the orbital module. The orbital module carries the docking port, which is called the SSVP. It's the Soyuz docking port for the space station, right? And this one has like the toilet's in there if they need that. It's basically called the orbital module. It carries all the stuff that you need for when you're on orbit. And then in the center section here, you have your crew module. The crew module right here that carries the heat shield. The heat shield separates the crew module and the service module, right? So this system right here is what you come back down in. So when Soyuz leaves the ISS and it comes back down, it jettisons the orbital module because it's not orbital anymore, and it jettisons the service module because it's blocking the heat shield. This module, during reentry, has its own coolant system. It has its own redundant coolant system built into it. The reason why is because your main coolant system is no longer attached to the spacecraft, and it's not going to do very good if it's not attached to the spacecraft. I know, rocket science, right? So the secondary cooling system is inside of the command module, where the people are. That's the one that got damaged. It got hit by a micrometeorite. So just a little piece of orbital debris. That does happen. It happens. It's not really a indicative of a bad design. Soyuz has been flying for decades, and it's one of the safest spacecraft around. This one's just bad luck. That does happen in space. So the coolant system on the command module, the thing that they need to come back down, that's what's damaged. So, you know, they're basically going to launch another Soyuz and bring this one down with nobody on board, launch another one and bring the crew down with that. That's what's going to happen. So, that's what's going on with the ISS. John Krause has some great shots. Yeah, Donald, very nice. I heard Jesse say it Aqualux, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you. They probably optimize it for performance if I had to guess, depending on the mission, but I couldn't tell you the idiosyncrasies to it. What would you do if you won the lottery? Have a lot of money. I heard SpaceX might be going to get them. Angus, that is one of the mission contingencies. Part of when you're doing human space flight up in space is to not... You don't want to kind of corner yourself. You want to leave a lot of options open. NASA calls them mission contingencies. Basically, it's if something does go wrong, I have a lot of ways to solve that problem. So Dragon could rescue the stranded crew, the 2 cosmonauts and the astronaut that's up there that flew up on that Soyuz. Dragon could be used as a rescue system. It could be. That's one of the options. But I don't think that's the option that they went with. I think what Roscosmos and NASA, the two main kind of people that run the space station, the two main space agencies, what they decided to do was just launch a Soyuz with nobody on it up there, and come down on that one. They do shut down some side booster engines on ascent to limit loading. Not sure about the core. Yeah, Jesse did talk about that, Ian, and I thought I heard it. I'm like, huh, okay. Starship's grid fins seems considerably bigger than Falcon 9 grid fins. Yeah, that's because Starship is way bigger than Falcon 9, Erudite. Super Heavy is as tall as Falcon Heavy. The first stage of Starship is as tall as Falcon Heavy. So, if we pop back over to NSF shot, guys, Super Heavy. So, Starship's first stage is as tall as this service tower right here. And then Starship on top of that would be going off the screen. Yeah, of course the grid fins are bigger. Yeah, Neb, great launch. Yeah, where's that wide shot from SpaceX's cast? Where's the wide shot? Hold on. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Erudite, this is a good comparison here. SpaceX is building a Starship launch pad at 39A. And that should tell you everything you need to know. When I said Super Heavy is as tall as this tower, Super Heavy is as tall as that tower. Starship is up here. See the difference? This is a Starship service tower. That's for Falcon right there. And formerly the Space Shuttle as well. Hey, WD-40, thanks for the raid. Yeah, it was pretty long, Forge. Yep. We're getting raided by everybody. We got Adrian Raiders in here. We got WD-40 Raiders in here. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Have they ever landed the side boosters on drone ships? Nah, Benno, it's never happened, but I'm sure they could. I don't know what they'd do with the center core after that, but... In fact, Benno, you know what I'm going to say? Just with my limited knowledge of physics. If both of the side boosters need to fly on a ballistic trajectory... like so, drone ship landing, the center core is probably going way too fast at entry to even have, even if they had a third drone ship, you're probably not getting it back.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Jen, you gifted a sub to WD-40. Thank you. WD-40 did have some live shots down there, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Donald, something like that. What's the center core, Avatar? Center core is on Falcon Heavy is this thing right here. See the one that's white? The side boosters are a little bit charred because they have been reused, but the one that's very clean in the center, that's the center core. You might want to check Forge's link. I might want to keep explaining this. That's the center core right there. So, guys, the previous Space Force mission, I think it was SF-44. SF-44 was supposed to be a dual drone ship landing, and then they optimized the trajectory for double RTLS. It was discarded this time around, Drummer, yeah. Yeah, Sevi, I could tell from the landings that was a very, 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 very stretched trajectory. You could just tell by when the boosters came back down to land. I mean, look at the angle of attack here. When Falcon 9 RTLSs, it comes down over here somewhere, and it's kind of going more or less straight down at the pads. These things are coming in sideways. I mean, just you could tell because you could see the Banana River right there, and then you see the NASA Causeway, which is, yeah, that is a pretty crazy. Actually, that's the Banana River. You could see the ITL Causeway right there. There's Slick 41 and Slick 40 right there. There's 37B. That's the solid rocket motor assembly facility right there. That's the old ITL VAB right there. And then it looks like the Space Force Station is behind some clouds here. But you can see Kennedy Space Center over there. There's Roberts Road. And then the VAB is over there. All right, Drummer, good night. That's pretty wild, dudes. We'll watch the landing one more time, and then we'll go. That grid fin's really doing some work right there. Wowzers. That's pretty good, man. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Shall we? Over to KSP? Let's do it. Let me change up the title.